Okay, first things first. First of all, I just noticed I've had an iPhone since 2007. I just noticed that you cannot flip your phone from front facing to back facing on the iPhone video. It was so fucking weird. I literally had to download an app for this after doing Google research. Second of all, this I got a few little tips and tricks for you. I'm going to first start with my skipjack. How to prepare the skipjack for bait. Probably going to get it frozen. It's going to take a long time to thaw out, so you'll probably have to end up using it partially frozen. At least it's hot as hell, so some of it will thaw. Get you a good bait knife, either from Bass Pro or just they sell 3 packs of paring knives at the dollar store. You can use one of those just fine. I can't draw, but this is my effort to show you what's up. Alright, so this is my skipjack. This is how we're going to prepare the skipjack to use for bait. There's going to be 2 things we're going to do. First thing we're going to do, end of the tail, we're going to cut the tail off right here. Now, the skipjack has a backbone that runs right through here, of course, like you would expect. They have a really hard head. They have nostrils right in here as well. So, what you're going to do is cut out the belly pocket. So the guts, you want to cut the guts out. And the reason you want to do that is because they'll kind of just drag out when you cast, in the current, all that shit, and it'll just make it stringy. The fish might grab onto guts or something like that and not get the hook. You want to keep your bait kind of concise. Also, if it's in like swift water, this would be mostly for boats, but fishing in the river, it's going to be swift water too. Once it washes the guts out, you're going to have the skin, and it's going to leave like a round, like your bait will look like this. Okay, this is going to be the meat, and this is going to be the skin, and this is going to be where the guts were, but they're going to be washed out. And what's going to happen is the current's going to get in there, and it's going to cause your bait to just spin, which you don't want that. So once we cut the tail off, what we're going to do is start back here, just kind of feel along here. You'll be able to feel the difference between like the meaty portion of the fish and the actual gut pocket. So we'll start right here. You'll take your bait knife and then you'll just cut along here. You're going to cut all the way up, basically to the gill plate. You're going to come down. And you're going to cut this little bait pocket out. You're going to just throw it away. Now, take the head. First thing you want to do is just cut right behind the gill plate here. The head, great piece of bait. A lot of people will actually hook it through this nostril here. You want as much hook exposed as possible. You'll hook it through this nostril here, or you can hook it, anywhere in the head, with with your hook. It's one reason why you want to make sure you have big enough hooks. The head is very, very, very hard. It's bone, basically. A lot of people actually will clamp their mouth shut, and they'll hook it through the mouth and use that. Okay, so now we have this bait pocket out. You're left with these pieces. So then you'll just go along here, and you'll chunk it. Chunk here, chunk here, chunk here, chunk here, chunk here, chunk here. So you've got a big head piece, which I like to fish with one of those, and then you got the chunks too. You got 5, 6, 7, 8 chunks depending on how big it is. You want to make your chunks about inch and a half wide. So just depending on how big your skipjack is, if it's one big skipjack that you get or a few small skipjacks, just adjust accordingly. And that's how you want to prepare your skipjack to use. Now, to hook it, you want to hook up here and hook it through the bone. And I'll leave plenty of hook exposed. Basically, you want to hook that through the bone, and you don't want it to be covering up the portion of the hook. Here, I have some hooks right here, actually. So this is like a 7/0 circle hook. And like I said, I like to show you some circle hook stuff. The way this is, you see how this point kind of cuts back? That's the way it's a circle hook. It sets itself, and that's what makes it so effective. But you have to really learn how to let it set itself effectively, or you'll lose a lot of fish. But basically, you want your bait, so your hook's here. You want your bait like this, kind of. So you want the top of your hook exposed. You don't want your bait, your hook down in here where it's not gonna make a good hook set. So that pretty much covers that. A couple other things I wanted to cover. So here's a few things. So these are no roll sinkers. This is a 5-ounce no roll sinker. You can use that. Here's another 5. Here's a 2. I would use at least a 2, maybe a 3. Egg sinkers will also work, but no roll sinkers. Here's the reason they call them no rolls, because they don't roll. Basically, they'll set on the bottom like this, and water, the current will just wash over them pretty easily. Unlike egg sinkers, which have a tendency to roll. It's like a ball. Get you a pack of brass swivels. So here's this is a 10-aught circle hook. Now I would probably be using something like this. This is a pretty big hook. So this is a roll of electrical tape almost out. So as you can see, this hook is, pretty large. This is a 10-aught. Anywhere from a 7-aught to a 10-aught will work. And, as you can see, all I have actually are circle hooks. And this is my big fish box. Because if I'm fishing for big hit fish, I'm only fishing for circle hooks. But that's not... People caught fish for hundreds of years with J hooks. But it's kind of like it's something I'd like to show you for sure. Also... Here are some beads, and I'll show you what the purpose of these beads are, of course. And I want to show you a couple different setups. I like to show you like a basic setup to that you would use in a situation like this. It's just a simple Carolina rig. So this is something I have set up for just fishing around here. This is a 2-ounce no roll. This goes on my line first. This right here, that is a Team Catfish it's like a sinker cushion. These are very, very handy and very, very useful. Since you live by Bass Pro, it's something that's very accessible for you. And there's, of course, a barrel swivel. And then here, there's a leader below that going down to my hook. And I actually have this set up with a J hook for what I was just fishing for some channel cats on the bottom with this. So this is just a Carolina rig. Basically the synchro set on the bottom, the no roll synchro set on the bottom. It'll set above the barrel swivel, and then the hook will be on a leader anywhere from 12 to 18 inches or so below the barrel swivel. So the advantage of this is you have your sinker sitting on the bottom, and the bait's out here. The fish picks it up and it pulls line through the no roll sinker. The sinker, as you can see, is not moving, even though I've pulled all this line through it. So he's not feeling any resistance at all. There's nothing setting him off, saying, "Hey, there's something wrong here." But you're going to see that, it's going to pull from your pole, and you'll see that and be able to set the hook on him. He's not going to see any resistance. So here's the point of these cushions here, and this is serving the same purpose of the bead. The reason I have the beads in there is because I just ran out of these cushions, and I've got to get up to Bass Pro to get some more. I forget what they're called exactly, but they're Team Catfish, like sinker cushions or sinker stoppers or something like that. And here's what they're for. So when you're casting, you have fish, messing with your stuff, you got that 2 to 5 ounces of weight slamming down. If you don't have that cushion on there, what it's going to do, oh shit, I just hooked myself. What it's going to do is you have a big hole at the bottom of that sinker. It's going to slide over your actual it's going to slide over your actual knot here, and what it's going to do is damage your knot. Your knot's going to like continue to get withered the more and more times you cast, and that sinker slams down on it. So that cushion protects your knot. When your line breaks, it's typically the knots. That's what's going to go, because it's getting a lot of tension, and you're getting a lot of smashing on that. So that's one thing that you really handy. If you don't get the cushions or whatever, get you a bead. The bead will basically serve the same purpose, maybe not quite as effectively. The next step would be, if you decide you're going to start fishing a lot, man, you definitely got to get some ambassadors. You got to get some ambassadors to, they're just the most reliable, the most versatile. This fish can catch any freshwater fish there is. This reel can handle it. It has the drag setting is very customizable. I can cast I can cast this reel, to the other side of the fucking river, honestly. And a nice, I like 10-foot rods. I think this is a 9 actually. Good surf rod allows you to cast as well. It gives you good leverage. When you're fighting fish and stuff like that. But whenever you you decide you're going to start fishing a lot, you can start by either getting some used stuff like off Fishing Forum, or Cabela's has these. Bass Pro has these Bass Pro name brand bait casting reels like this, round reels, that are very, very affordable. Like you could go, I think that I bought one for Chris. I bought 2 for Chris, actually, for 2 birthdays in a row. And I think I got them for like $39 a piece. Very, very affordable, and he's had not an ounce of problems out of them. They're super good reputations, and they're just like Bass Pro name brand. Nice metal reels. It take you a little while to learn how to cast it efficiently, but you'll be so much more happy, 100% guaranteed. And then some nice like medium action poles, like some 9-foot poles, 10-foot poles, something like that. And I can get you some good deals on that kind of stuff too. I'm in with a couple tackle people that can get you like let's see. So let me bounce this around here. So over there, this pole, cork handle. They come in a variety of colors. They're called catfish layers. They're 10 foot long, and I think I paid $30 for that one. You could for $75-$80 you could have you a nice catfish setup. That if you went with one of the. Otherwise, you can get used reels, all the time, and for probably $110 you can have a really nice setup that will catch any fish out there. If you hook a 20-30 pound blue flathead, something like that, on just a non bait casting reel, it's going to be tough to get it in. The drag, for one thing, isn't as adjustable, and it doesn't have the gearing like there's a lot of stuff, a lot of ball bearings, and there's a lot of ball bearings and gears and things in here that are just made for fighting big fish. It's just different than using, other types of reels. But I'm sorry this video is so long, but I just had some things I wanted to share with you. I hope you made it all the way through anyway. But any questions that you have, I'd love to answer that. I like talking about this shit. Love you, bro.